So you're thinking about moving to Roseburg, Oregon. Well, if you are looking for 365 days a year of sun or a crazy nightlife, you are definitely looking in the wrong spot. But if you are looking for mountain views, rivers, and a peaceful, slower pace of life, Roseburg might be the hidden gem for you. In this video, I am going to give you the 5 biggest pros and the 5 biggest cons about living in Roseburg. And stay tuned to the end because I am going to give you the reason that almost made me regret moving to Roseburg. So with that, let's get on with the video. Hey everybody, I'm Jerry Norman with Oregon Life Homes. I have helped tons of families move and relocate to the Roseburg, Douglas County area. I am not originally from here, so I know how overwhelming it can be to try and find the right place to relocate and try and find the right spot that is perfect for you and your family. Especially if you're looking from 100 to 1,000 miles away, it can be really difficult. So if you want to know what it's like to live, sleep, play, work here in the Roseburg, Douglas County area, hit that subscribe button. I put out videos like this every week about what it's like to live in the Roseburg area. So with that, let's get on to the pros and cons. So pro number 1, Roseburg is an outdoor paradise. You are not going to move here for malls, shopping, and a crazy nightlife. You're going to move here for the outdoors. So Roseburg, right in our backyard, we have got hiking trails, waterfalls, fishing, and some of the most beautiful scenery in all of the Pacific Northwest. The North Umpqua Trail, it's got 70 miles of hiking trails. Now, you don't have to do it all at once. There are a lot of short 1 mile to 5 mile hikes that go to some amazing waterfalls. And if you're not quite much of a hiker, but want to explore some of these areas, give me a message down below. There are a couple that I'm not going to do again. And of course, we've got Crater Lake, which is about 2 hours from Roseburg, and it is the deepest lake in the country. It is absolutely breathtaking. Doesn't matter what time of year you go there. Now, in the wintertime, it is going to be rough. It's going to be a hard time to get up there. But in the summertime, it is amazing. So if you are somebody who likes to wake up on a Saturday morning, put on your hiking boots, grab your fishing pole, Roseburg is definitely going to be the place for you. Now, pro number 2, Roseburg is such a family-friendly community. Now, a lot of people that I do work with, they are relocating and they're downsizing or newly retired. So maybe this isn't a topic for you. So go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. But if you are moving here with family, Roseburg has a lot of great options. We've got Stewart Park with hiking trails, disc golf, the YMCA, and then just south of Roseburg, we've got the Wildlife Safari. It's a wildlife park where you can drive around, see a bunch of wild animals. It is pretty cool. It is a great way to spend a weekend day there. And it is a really big hit with kids. And then, of course, we've got the Douglas County Fair, which brings in some mild acts, and it is also a really good time for kids. It's a really good county fair where, it's got all the rides, all the games, all the food. Pretty good time. And that just lasts for about 5 days in the middle of summer. Now then, if your kids are into sports, you are going to be busy all year round. Roseburg and the surrounding towns and school districts take athletics seriously. So if they are into sports, just be prepared. And the travel for these schools, sometimes we're going to have to travel quite a ways. And then also just be known stuff like indoor activities such as trampoline parks or like climbing gyms. These are going to be pretty limited. You're going to need to go down to Medford or up to Eugene to some of these places. And they're pretty cool up there. And those are only about an hour away from Roseburg. So it's not too bad. And now we're going to get into pro number 3, which is the cost of living. So the cost of living compared to Portland, Seattle, California towns, Roseburg is really affordable. The median home price here in Roseburg is just over $300,000. Right now it's sitting right around $325,000, which means you can often afford much more of a home here than you can in some of those other cities. Most of the time, $350,000 in California or Seattle isn't even going to get you a condo. But here you can buy a stick-built house on a little bit of property for right around the $350,000. So basically you can get a lot more house for your money. Property taxes here are lower than the national average. That makes owning a home a little bit more affordable as well. And then of course, everyday expenses like groceries, gas, utilities are all a little lower than the national average as well, and much, much lower than some of these metro cities. But remember, wages here are a lot lower as well. The last time I checked, the median salary here in the county was about $50,000. So if you are relocating with a remote job or retiring with a savings, you're going to find Roseburg a much bigger value than a lot of these metro cities with the cost of living. But if you are relying on local employment, you're going to find it a little bit of a challenge. All right, pro number 4. Now this is a double-edged sword, the weather. Summers here are mild and beautiful, about 80 to 90 degree on average temperatures. It doesn't get too hot. We will get a couple days or a couple weeks where the temperatures get into the triple digits, but it is not too often. But then we get into the fall and winter time where we start getting rain. Now we get about 150 days a year of rain, and that usually solidified in the fall and winter time. So winters get a little gray and dreary and wet. Now we're not going to have a lot of downpours, but most of the time it is just a drizzly rain. But overall, the weather is much more mild than a lot of these other cities, where in Seattle they get a ton of rain and that can be all year round. California or like Arizona or whatever is really dry and hot. It's not like that here. It's very mild climate. In fact, in the winter times we rarely get snow, and if we do get snow, it's usually gone by about lunchtime. But we do have those sporadic winters where it can get bad for about a week. But it's not like when you're living in the Northeast where it snows before Thanksgiving and you don't see your yard until springtime. It's not like that here. So basically, if you are not used to rain, it is going to take some adjustments. Now, pro number 5 is the community involvement or community feel. This is a small Oregon town. People know each other and the community comes together on local events. Downtown Roseburg has a farmer's market, and there's street fairs that run all year long downtown Roseburg in all the parks. There's music in the parks in the summertime. There's always a local event happening. And it's such a small town. After living here for a few years, you're going to start recognizing faces. When you walk into the grocery store, people are going to know you. You're going to recognize your neighbors. And so if you are coming from a metro city, it might be a little bit of a change where people actually know you, then kind of staying under the radar. But basically, it is just a small town feel. The small town that I live in, everybody knows each other. You walk into one of the local shops, people know you, they say hi to you, that everybody is really friendly. All right, so now for the cons. Number 1 is going to be the rain. And like I did mention in the pros before, we get 150 days a year of rain. So if you are planning for a family outing or a trip or something like that, or a family picnic or a get together, you want to look at the weather because the rain could change your plans. And that's one thing that really can be frustrating at times. Con number 2, once again, what I said with all, most of the people that I'm working with, they're relocating here, they're downsizing. So this isn't really a big con and might be a pro, but it's the lack of nightlife. So if you are looking to go out dancing or see live concerts, you're most likely going to need to go to Eugene or Portland for all that. Now, there are a couple of small music venues or really small local places here that offer live music, and it's a good time. So that might be just what you're looking for. Not a huge local scene. Pretty much the whole city shuts down about 9 o'clock. There's not much to do after 9. And then con number 3. So Roseburg does have the amenities that most people need. We've got the Walmart, we've got the Fred Meyer's, the Costco, the Lowe's. But if you're looking for a big mall shopping for the day or whatever, you're also going to need to go to a different town. Eugene is just an hour and a half away. So that's usually where people go when they want to do shopping like that. Most people here rely on Amazon. So shopping can be a con if you are used to it from moving from a metro city. But the people that are moving here, that is actually a pro as well. Con number 4, limited kid activities. So if your kids are not into sports, some of the options can be limited. There is a YMCA with youth activities. There are some youth groups and a few other smaller things as well. But getting them activity, especially in the wintertime when it's raining and you can't get them outside, you're going to find some difficult times with that. So finding a good hobby, an indoor hobby, would be a great option if you have kids. And then number 5, the local job market. The local economy here is a lot smaller than the metro cities. So if you are looking for a job, and if you're like an engineer or in the tech industry, Roseburg probably isn't going to be for you. But if you are relocating here with remote work, like I've just talked to some people that are relocating from back east, and they are remote workers. So they are just keeping their job, and they have visited Oregon and vacationed in Oregon, and they love it here. They found Roseburg and they thought, this is great. So their house is up for sale right now, and they are planning on making the move and keeping their remote job. So if you are fortunate enough for that, this really could be the option. But if you are relocating here for work, you might have a difficult time. There are a lot of local restaurants and bars, and some people, when they relocate here, that's what they're looking for. But once again, what I said about the salaries, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So there is the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly about Roseburg. And here is the part that I told you about at the beginning that almost made me regret moving here, and that is the rain. I like going outdoors. I like motorcycle riding, so it's really frustrating when I'm planning to go for a motorcycle ride and then that morning it starts raining. Man, so discouraging. So it's something to get used to, is the rain will change your plans. In winter times, it's not usually a downpour, it's just drizzly. In the fall time when it comes, it's not too discouraging because it's kind of welcoming after we've had a hot summer. But by the time winter is over, you are definitely ready for it to be over with. A lot of people start getting a little bit depressed because of the gray, dry weather or damp weather. But after you've been here for a while, you just get used to it. So if you can handle the rain, it is a great trade-off for beautiful nature, amazing rivers, amazing waterfalls, great community. Roseburg is a great place to live. And you're not going to find all of that in one of the bigger cities. So if you are thinking about making the move, or just even considering about it, give me a call, text, email. All my contact info is in the description below. I'd love to talk to you. I've helped tons of people make this move here. So give me a call. I'd love to help. And with that, hit that subscribe button for more info about living, breathing, sleeping in Roseburg. And with that, check out these other videos about living in Roseburg. With that, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.